basically what I do is I take a couple of different strategies that I extracted out of artists, and I put a couple of people, 3 or 4 people, into trance, and I install those strategies. For several of them, it's for physical painting art, and for one of them, I think it's about music. I take somebody that believes they're not musical, and I get them to start playing music using a vocoder and an electronic keyboard. They start blowing saxophone solos because most of the time, if you think the same way a creative person thinks, you can do the things that they do. And the idea that painting is genetic, it's not genetic, it's learned. And if you do the same thing mentally that an artist does, well, your first painting may not be great, but it will be there, and people constantly surprise themselves. I've done this for some 10, 12 years now. And the first time I did it, I was at Regent's College in London, and I just had met some artists on the Thames, and I sat there and got them to explain to me how they thought about painting, and sat down, and like one of them, literally, when they looked at something, they saw a big hand in the sky with a paintbrush in it, and the paintbrush outlined the tree, and he put the right color on it. And what he did is he took his own hand and he ran a wire from the one in his mental image to the one in his hand, and literally, as one hand moved, the other would move. And it gave him a way of translating the images in his head onto the paper. When I took art, nobody told me about that, so I wasn't able to do it. But when you think about it, the simplicity of the way people do things successfully is immensely learnable. I do this in every master track I've taught, and every single time I have 3 or 4 people painting wildly interesting things. To me, a lot of people think talent is genetic. And of course, you can't beat a good set of genes, but then a lot of it is also learned. And if you do the same thing unconsciously that a talented person does, then your own talent can develop. This is when they talk about the human potential movement back in 40 years ago, it seemed like it never got going. NLP is the motor that will drive this into real behavior. We get stuff done.